In this video, we will be covering sets in Python. A set is an unordered collection of unique items. So I'm going to go ahead and create a set. There are two ways to do this. First is to call the set function, and we're going to be passing in a list containing 1, 2, and 3. The second method is to just use curly braces. So we'll create another one, 4, 5, and 6. And one thing to keep in mind, sets must be unique. They cannot contain any duplicates. So if we attempt to create one that does have duplicates, and then if we go ahead and print this out, the only thing that's saved to the variable is 1 and 3 because we pass it two duplicates. It will not give you an error or anything. It'll just remove the duplicates automatically. The next thing that we will do is test for membership, and that is very easy to do. So let's go ahead and print 3 in set1, and that's going to return us a true value. And if we do the same thing in set2, it'll just return us a Boolean false. We can also pass in a single string. So create string set. And what that's going to do, if we go ahead and print that, is each letter is going to be part of the set. So we have a set containing all of those letters, a single set. We can also combine different sets. So let's go create one called combined. We'll use the union function. And one thing to keep in mind once again is that they must be unique. Any duplicates will just be removed. So if we go ahead and print our combined set, then we have a single set containing 1 through 6. There's also another way to do this. We can just use the update function. So set1 update set2. So what the difference between this and what we just did was combine sets a new set variable. Once we run this, then set1 is going to be updated. And once again, we have the same, so set1 is now equivalent to the combined variable. And we can verify this by printing it out. So set1. And that should give us a Boolean value of true. There's also a few different methods that we can use to manipulate sets. So we call set1, we call the add method. Let's say we want to add the number 7. And then we can also do the same thing with remove. Let's go ahead and remove the number 6. Then if we go ahead and print that out once again, now we have the set, we have 6 was removed and then 7 was put in, and that's what we got back. We can also make sets that are immutable. That is referred to as a frozen set. So I will set a variable called frozen. And we have to call the frozen set function. So I'm going to put in 1 and 2. And if we try the add method, we will get an error. So I will just try that. Frozen.add. And we got an attribute error. So there's no add attribute to a frozen set. Next, we will go over the set operators. These are just operators that are fairly unique to sets. So I'm going to create a new set. It's going to be a string. We'll just call it abracadabra. And a second variable called alakazam, set to b. Now there's a bunch of things we can do with this now. So the first thing that we will be doing is checking the difference. So we're going to look for the letters that are in A but not in B. So we can just use the minus operator. And if we go ahead and print that out, so the letters D, R, and B are in set A, but not set B. There's two ways to do these. So we go difference, and that should return us the same answer. And then we can also use the union operator. So we can look for letters that are in A or B or both. And that is the vertical bar. And just like, so all of these, there's going to be two different ways to do that. We can just use the short syntax with the operator, or there's a method that we can call. So we went over this earlier. This is going to be the union function. And that's basically every letter in both of them. If there's any duplicates, they'll just be removed because it's going to return a set, which a set by definition can only contain unique values. Next thing that we will go over is an intersection. That's letters that are in both A and B. And that's the ampersand operator. And so only C and A, they're repeated several times in each one. Well, C is repeated once, A is repeated a bunch of times. So we have a single set containing C and A. And the method format to do this is A intersection. And we get the same answer with that. There's also an exclusive OR operator. So that means letters that are in A or B, but not in both. Let me go ahead and so we use the hat character. And we can also call a function called symmetric difference. And those should both give us the same answer. Now there's also methods for figuring out if there's a subset or superset. So I'm going to create a new set for this example. So we'll just take part of the word abracadabra and just call it dabra. So we go ahead and check for if C is a subset of A. And that should return us a Boolean value of true, which it does. And then we can also do the same thing. This should return us false because dabra is not in Alakazam. And then there's also a superset function, so we can reverse what we did for the first one. So A is a superset of B. I'm sorry, of C. So since A is fully contained within, or since dabra is nested inside A, so dabra is in abracadabra, so that makes A a superset of C, so that should return us a true value, and which it does. This covers using sets in Python. Thank you for watching.